Good Monday afternoon. Welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network with Donald Eng. I'm Rob Adams. Glad you decided to join us for the beginning of the final week of June. Try that on for size.
Hard to believe, isn't it? We're heading into the second week of summer, and my spring to-do list is still untouched.
That's a problem. But and shame on me. I said this to you off the air. I forgot to make sure we got a picture over to Eric Gendron. Maybe before the end of the show, we can get a picture over there of what you did over the weekend.
Oh well, it was a lot of fun. The Bridgeport Bluefish, as we were saying last week, they have a lot of these neat little events and stuff to kind of bring fans into the game. And one of them was they had the Girl Scout sleep out, where the Girl Scout troops, about 30 Girl Scouts, they came down. They sang the national anthem. And then after the game, I think about 8 of them slept out in the outfield. We put up tents. They put Zootopia on the big high def jumbo screen, and the girls had a great time. And the grown-ups managed to get through it.
I always said I wanted to do it personally, but what is it like? How do you stake things? I mean, obviously you don't.
Right.
They don't want you to.
No, they don't want you to stake things because there's a very expensive irrigation system under there.
So how are you able to kind of camp for those who have never done it?
Well, for me it was easy because it was a dome tent that just had those bending shock poles, and they just so the tent will hold its shape, and then I kind of strategically placed the backpacks and stuff inside so it wouldn't roll over, and it really wasn't very windy. Some people also had like the metal plates that you would use for a weightlifting set. They used it for that. And then of course now I actually slept pretty well because I'm originally from the Bronx, so having I-95 on this side of me and active railroad lines on the other side of me, that just sounded like home. That's a lullaby to me. Elizabeth, being from Connecticut, a little bit less so, but it wasn't bad. Like I said, we have unlike normal camping out in the woods, the outfield is completely flat, so you don't wake up and there's no feeling in one arm, or all the blood has rushed to your head because you're lying downhill. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was an experience. It was also an experience having to be off the field by about 7:30 in the morning because there was a clinic the next day. But we got through it. We're here.
And not to belabor the point, but Don was like a world traveler to get there that day. I was kind of following along online, going to New Jersey and then all the way back. You had a long day in your hands.
Birthday party. I got two trips over the Tappan Zee within about 2 hours of each other, so that was
good times.
It was a lot of fun. The things you do when you're a dad.
Joining us a little bit later on will be not one Andrew, but two. We are pleased to have Andrew Mitchell joining us today on the show, and Andrew Frattaroli, our old buddy, has stopped back, so we'll have them both on in a little bit. But we've got some things we can get to before we bring them on, Don, and among them being, the all-conference team for volleyball has been announced, really one of our last groups to be announced, so we can talk a little bit about them because here are these pretty remarkable athletes in volleyball, and there they are, boys volleyball from left to right. Henrik Liapinoff, and look, the mere fact that I knew how to say his name is a victory, but he was an outstanding player for Ridgefield. And then Tim Herget and Alex Preston, both from Darien, Nick Ladotti from Ridgefield, right there in the middle, wearing number 19. Gilhelm Lima of Fairfield and Robert Hoover of New Canaan are the 5 pictured right there. Ryan Angerthal of Staples and Jared Himmel of Staples were not included in the picture. They couldn't get there in time for it, so.
Yeah, and volleyball is a lot of fun because I always think of it as being, we talk of other sports as being like team games like baseball, football, but when you think about with volleyball, it is the ultimate team sport. The ball has to be passed to the setter and then set someone else up for the spike. And we tend to pay more attention to women's volleyball. That's just kind of the way it is as far as sports goes. But men's volleyball is exciting. The athleticism, the speed of the game, and really something you don't see a lot of. Something you see a lot on the men's side is the power of the game. It looks fun when you watch people on the beach playing it. It's less so when about a 6'6" guy spiking a volleyball at you from about 20 feet away.
I enjoy volleyball in the yard as much as anybody, but what you play for real, organized in the gym, is really good stuff, and we got to see it both on the girls and the boys' side throughout our season here on the HAN Network, and really, Some great stuff going on there. A lot of teamwork, as you alluded to, working the ball up to the front line and everything that they got to do to successfully move the ball back and forth. It's really something to watch.
It really is. The way and it's fun to watch live because you really sometimes on TV you really don't get a sense of just how of the players, the way they move. I mean, they will line up in to receive serve, and then they move, but they're moving around the court a lot, and they're calling out directions to each other. It's a lot of fun to watch, and really like all sports, but much more complicated the more you get into it, the higher level you play it at. So so as we said, congratulations to the All FCIAC first team there that we just named, and that's up on FCIAC.net.
Absolutely. Also up at FCIAC.net would be the Scholar Athletes for the end of the year, and congratulations to all of them. All the names listed there at FCIAC.net, and names that we'll recognize from one sport or another. So nice work by all of them.
It really is, and one of the things that I like about Scholar Athletes is as the expression goes, they're the first word is scholar. They are scholar athletes, and the other thing is that it's really great to see that a lot of these athletes, it's a big time commitment to play sports even at the high school varsity level. That's a pretty high level, and they dedicate a lot of their time to it, and also to have the discipline and the organization to also keep their grades up. That's really great to see.
And what we talk about is sports, but I don't want to not include the musicians and the artists and the performers who also have to practice an instrument, for instance, day in and day out, you're going to lessons, you're practicing, you still have to do your homework, you have to get ready for the performance. All that stuff is very time consuming. So whether you're an athlete or an artist or whatever, it takes a lot to do it. I give them a lot of credit.
It really does, and that's one of the things that's always been my response when people talk about things like when people talk about athletes. When they go to schools like Stanford and Duke, and for that matter Yale, and people will sometimes complain. You see it a lot among college professors that they're not happy about the amount of scholarships and money that goes to athletics. And my response has always been, if someone was a world-class violinist or a world-class chess player or painter, their presence on the campus enhances the college experience for the other students. And I don't really see athletics as being any different. Whether someone's a painter or a football player or a concert pianist, their presence on the campus enhances the campus.
Absolutely true. I don't think I could say it any better myself, and especially at those harder, quote-unquote, harder schools, to be able to do that kind of balance, still be, I can't help but respect that. Among the other news and notes, we kind of brushed over it, but we should take another moment and talk about Ridgefield High having a new soccer coach, in fact, up at Ridgefield, and that will be Ian Golding, who will take over the girls' soccer team there.
Yeah, Ian Golding, an assistant under Alex Harrison last season, has been chosen to replace Harrison, who's now the head coach at Western Connecticut State University. So Golding taking over a veteran team, 17-3-3 last year. So he's got the pieces in place there. And I just noticed, and I just channeled another Ian. I channeled Ian Murray, who's an Australian yachtsman. I don't know, because of the way the name is spelled. I don't know why it popped into my head. But anyway, as I was saying, taking over a veteran team, one that went 17-3-3 last year, and is looking to build on it. So that'll be interesting to see how he does this year.
And one other note, and again, just kind of news and notes that I'm snagging off of FCIAC.net, but J.B. Cousins writing from the Wilton Bulletin about Karen Brosco, who received the Melissa Flanders Nichols Scholarship Award at the recent Wilton High School Senior Sports Award night. Great player with the basketball team. That's where I got to see her play. So congratulations to Karen Brosco as well. So
right.
It's kind of that end of season, where
it's kind
again,
of the awards,
yeah.
the awards, and it's a convenient time to sort of look back at the season and take it in as kind of like a single entity. It's kind of as a body of work, one season, as it closes out, and then. I was talking to off camera, and apparently a lot of the preseason football stuff is starting up.
Isn't it amazing? I was watching, I think it was the NFL Network last night. I think they flashed up 99 days to kickoff of the regular season.
Yeah,
that's a depressing thought, because that basically means summer's over when they do that.
Basically, it does, yes, and even at the high school level, the teams now they're opening up their conditioning, they're in the weight room now, and so the calendar just keeps turning over.
Now, before we go to break, Let's throw something up here on the screen that I thought would be kind of fun if we've got it ready for you. A little something for my buddy Don. There you go.
There we are. You can't see me because I'm actually behind the camera, but yes, if you can picture Elizabeth and me in that little blue and gray tent off to the right there, it was a lot of fun. It really was. They turned the lights off. Didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked. They had the lights on till almost 1. But then, sleep.
I like that one that almost looks like a small city on the left side of the screen.
That one was great, and it was like, that was a mom and her 3 daughters that were scouts, and it was about a 6-person job to actually put that tent up.
Oh my gosh, we have to. There you go. There's another look at it. Very cool. We need to take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. We will have the Andrews come over and join us right after this. So stick around on the HAN Network.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports. It's a Monday here on the HAN Network. I'm Rob Adams, Donald Eng over there. One of the 3 wearing black shirts. This is Andrew Frattaroli. That is Andrew Mitchell. And look, you don't have a laptop. You don't have a black shirt.
I was not informed there was a dress code now.
See? Well, we're big on branding here. I don't know if you know.
Right.
I don't know if you can tell.
This is all new to me. So.
It's been a while since we've seen you. What's been going on?
Not a lot's been going on. Had a mediocre football season and graduated a couple weeks ago. Heading off to Elon next year. Pretty excited about it.
Elon's got a good broadcasting program. Seems like Elon's kind of become a popular college up in this area. I feel like a lot of students from here are going there.
It does. A lot of New Canaan students especially. I don't know.
It's true.
It is true.
It actually is.
It's a beautiful campus, but I mean, that's not the reason I went. I went just for the appeal of having a top 50 business school and an up-and-coming communications program as well. So kind of keeping my options open for the future.
And if I remember, you're in kind of the triangle area of North Carolina, the Raleigh-Durham.
Yes, right in the middle, right closer to Durham.
Yeah, so it's a great area. That's been a very up-and-coming area for a while, and I'll be down in Fayetteville probably in August, so it's a good area down there. Would happily meet. I want to go to a Durham Bulls game, actually.
Yeah, it's really close.
Well, they don't play in the old stadium anymore, though.
No,
they
but
do, yes.
I was looking at it last night on a map. Don't ask me why. The new Durham Athletic Park is basically here, and the old one's right about here. So they're pretty close, a couple minutes apart.
I wonder if you could just kind of like walk through the walk through and just and check it out. But one thing I was curious about. Now you were a two-way football player your junior year, but not your senior year. So like when you get to the I'm always curious because I went to a school with a fairly large football program, and now I live in a town with a small one. And you see a lot of the two-way players. At the end of the game, how do you feel? How much different does it feel playing two ways versus being a defensive specialist? Like, do you feel like you're a little bit quicker or a little bit less beat up?
I feel like a lot less tired.
A lot less tired.
Yeah. Also kind of less rewarding though, because I mean, my junior year, I felt like I helped contribute on the offensive side at least, just because I played tackle, defended the blind side. But defense had its own bumps and bruises for me, so it's probably for the better. I never played offense, but I did miss it. There's something about being part of an offensive line. We don't get any credit for the touchdowns or anything, but it's like just a camaraderie between the offensive line. That's kind of what I missed.
Well, as they always say, the offensive lineman, you only get your name called when you hold someone. And at the high school level, they don't even do that, right? They
No, just let it go. No, I think I played all my junior year. I started on the offensive line. I don't think I got called for one hold, and there was a lot of holding.
Nicely done, actually.
190 playing left tackle. There's a lot of holding going on.
You talk about bumps and bruises. How about your own bumps and bruises and recovering from them?
Yeah, so I suffered 2 concussions this year, actually. One earlier in the season, and then tried to get through that a little too quickly. Told my trainer I had no symptoms, which is the classic football player thing to do. And then the person I was hosting decided, my free safety, who's now playing at Duke, Jacob Morgenstern, decided to knock me unconscious and then have me taken away in an ambulance to the ER. So that was fun. Really just a good couple weeks there. But no, I'm recovering fine. It's been a long road recovering, but we're fine now.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now, but I
Yeah.
know at the time, and I was in touch with your family and with you at the time, so I know it was some scary stuff going on there. But does it change your perspective as you hear so much talk about concussions in this day and age in the NFL and in football? Does it change your perspective at all, or you still love the game?
I would do it all over again if I had to. Absolutely.
There you go.
I feel like the whole concussion thing is blown out of proportion. That being said, I've gone through it all. I've had so many concussions, but yet I feel pretty much the same. I mean, obviously it hasn't been long enough for the long-term effects that they claim will happen, but honestly, you don't see concussions as real concussions as much as you would broken legs or a broken ankle or anything like that. They're a lot less common than most people think. Bad concussions. A lot of people get hit in the head, they get a little dizzy, and they think they have a concussion, which is why I think this is becoming such a big issue now, is because everyone has become soft, basically. And they get a little dizzy after a hit, and they come out for a game to think they have a concussion, and then they're another number.
And we should mention St. Luke's grad, a Greenwich guy over there, former Cardinal ice hockey player, among other things. Did you ever experience anything like that in terms of head injuries or anything like that on the ice?
For me, no. I mean, throughout my high school hockey career, I always had a nice, Reebok helmet that always protected me, but I did get my fair, share of hits and a couple head rattles. I know one of the games you covered that I showed you the video of, that hit I had at center ice. I was a little dizzy. I didn't really know where I was going when I got up, but nothing too serious, no concussions, but you're definitely aware of it with hockey, especially a lot of big hits, a lot of head first into the boards, and those are some scary scenes that you've got to watch out for.
Right, that's one thing I always wondered about with hockey, is that because it's a game that's played very fast in an enclosed arena or an enclosed rink, and it's played on ice, and falling on ice is like falling on concrete, but it hurts more.
Yes,
if you can believe that.
Turf is nice and soft.
Turf is very nice and soft.
By comparison.
Doesn't make it less painful, but it's very nice and soft.
But you're staying active as well during the summer and around this area. What's going on?
Well, no longer can play baseball, or unless I find a men's league team, but I'm playing some men's league softball. It's always fun. I'm playing with a bunch of college kids, and we're playing very well in a Greenwich league right now, so that's fun. Still playing some hockey, men's league over at Chelsea Piers. That's always fun, very competitive. I play against a lot of actually college players, that play down in the league I'm in, which I'm pretty surprised. I'm play-up league.
That's
playing
pretty
with a bunch
common
of
around
guys.
here,
Yeah.
though. A lot of men's leagues with a lot of college players mixed in.
So that's always fun. I'm a little out of shape, a little slow compared to everyone else, but that, and then I've been coaching some youth baseball, and that's always fun because I love teaching these kids. Baseball I feel is dying down, and all over Fairfield County, especially in Greenwich. A lot of kids are going to lacrosse, to water polo. But I love these kids. 11 to 12-year-olds, a couple 10-year-olds. I had one of them make our district all-star team, which is pretty great, pretty good honor to have. But been keeping busy. Been here every day with you guys, so it's always been fun.
And I should mention a UConn guy as well. So we've got the background of everybody's spoken for. And there's some good stuff going on around the region. We were talking about a Ridgefielder getting drafted in the NHL. That's kind of cool as well.
Yeah. Ridgefield native Chad Chris gets picked by the Chicago Blackhawks, the original 6. I mean, that's something you grow up dreaming about. And he's 18, he's going to Boston University. And what I like about the NHL is that you can get drafted and go to school and get your degree and excel get better overall, and that's something you can't really see in basketball or some other sports. Basketball, you can no longer go to school once you sign with an agent, but hockey you can continue.
And Tim Murphy reminded us in the Ridgefield Press that before joining the national team program, Chris spent his freshman and sophomore years at Ridgefield High School and played for the Tigers boys varsity lacrosse team. Then he played hockey for the Connecticut Oilers and the New Jersey Rockets under-19 team. So really not a high school presence because for whatever reason, for the most part, the public high school players don't quite make the NHL, where the better players seem to go to the prep schools around these parts or play for these travel teams.
Yeah.
That's for all sports, though. You see that a lot with football, especially Cheshire Academy. They have both Tariq Black and
That's a good point.
CJ Holmes, both two absolute phenomenal athletes that I know from my 8th grade all-star team. But they both have offers from like Tennessee. Tariq has one from Alabama, Michigan, like all those crazy schools. But yeah, all the big name players are coming from prep schools now.
And to that end, we saw that Andrew Stuber of Darien is going to be heading off to Michigan. That's pretty cool.
That really is, and it's also he's the second local football player in the last year or so to head off to Michigan. So that's a big accomplishment. 6'6", 290 pound, big guy, big accomplishment, and so hopefully we'll be able to get him on in the not too distant future.
Hope so. It's been a good time around these parts. Of course, we still think about Tyler Matakevich, who made it to the Steelers, although we don't know if he'll make the Steelers. There have been some reports that say he won't make the Steelers. I hope he does, personally.
I hope he does too, because he's from my home. He's from the same hometown as I am. And he's also one of those players. It's the cliche, but he's too small, too slow. He relies on game preparation and anticipation and endless film work. So that's another thing. I mean, because it's when you watch football players play football or any sport, you see what they do for a couple hours at a time, but you don't see the endless preparation to get to that point. So hopefully he catches on.
A few more potpourri things to get to before we say goodbye on this Monday edition of the program. Andrew, Don, and I will be back right after this on the HAN Network. Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Stars Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building self-esteem, friendships, and honesty. Located at Sports Center Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at futurestarssportsacademy.com.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office. I'm John Kovach.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. I'm Rob Adams. I've got Andrew Frattaroli over here across the way, Donald Eng and Andrew Mitchell. I saw that MSG varsity, you want to call them competition, that's fine, but I saw they put out an all-Connecticut baseball first team group, and Kevin Devaney, who's a friend I've known for many years, really good guy, good reporter, he put out this list. So I thought we'd spend a moment talking about these players, and it's a little different in that it's not just FCAC. It's not really all Connecticut per se. It's almost more like MSG's viewing area. That's what it almost seems like. Not that these players aren't deserving, because this is where a lot of great players came from. Trevor Johnson was named the Connecticut Region Baseball Player of the Year from the Brunswick School in Greenwich. He is heading to Dartmouth. The senior was an outfielder who hit .470 for the Bruins in the 2016 season.
I actually watched him play once against St. Luke's. Our team was horrible. We won 2 games, maybe. But so it was pretty much a practice for him, but he was just absolutely destroying the ball. Like, I have not seen a kid in the FAA be as well-rounded of a player as Trevor Johnson is.
I don't think it's a bad call to say that Sal Coppola is the Coach of the Year from Amity Regional. I mean, you got a guy that wins 4 straight championships.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well give it to him, Yeah.
Why not?
4 is nothing special, right?
Nah, no big deal.
Only 4-peated.
4-peat.
The Connecticut Region first team includes Pat Winkle of Amity Regional. He is going to go to UConn, and he's just a sophomore, by the way, and a good ball player. Sean Saylor and I got to see him in that championship game against Fairfield Ward, where Reese Maniscalco was the pitcher that day, although in this case he is considered the first baseman. He's going to Wofford. Richard Brereton, who has a birthday today, and happy birthday to him, from Darien, the senior, is heading to Emory, and of course played the infield but also pitched and was the FCAC Championship Game MVP. Andy Haig of Amity also is included on this first team, as is Mike Marzoni of Brunswick. He actually pitched to a 5-1 record with a 1 ERA in 35 innings. That's not a bad gig.
It's not bad at all.
John Thrasher of Ridgefield is up next, a junior outfielder, followed by Michael Linisnicia of West Hill, outfielder there, hit .365 with 6 home runs. Robbie Jones, who gave us a huge thrill a year ago on the HAN Network when he hit a walk-off home run against Greenwich. Sorry, Andrew. But what a good player he is. That was a heck of a moment on this very channel in our very early days. Noah Yokoi, who we saw play so well for Staples, is on this first team, as is Eli Oliphant of Amity. He was the starting pitcher, in fact, against Maniscalco and the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. There's John Natoli, also from the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. Mike Gonzalez of Norwalk made this first team, along with Max Sheps of Amity and Andrew Winch of Darien. So nice job. Good, and that's a good team. I'd go to war with that team.
Yeah, that's not bad. You expect he's got solid pitching, well coached. So and we have we didn't mention a future, or not a future, but a major league draft person in there, Gonzalez, taken drafted by the Brewers. He's headed to Miami-Dade Junior College.
That's right. And as we continue with, again, some various hits and misses here, here's a good hit that we talked about before the show today. Zach Smith, the former New Canaan star, takes Rookie of the Year honors with Salve Virginia, so that's nice to see as well.
Yeah, and if you're thinking of a place to go spend 4 years, Newport, Rhode Island wouldn't be a bad choice.
Not bad at all. Hit .417 as the Seahawks won their first Commonwealth Coast Conference Championship in 11 years.
.417 is a rook.
70
not
hits.
so bad.
That's pretty impressive.
Not
70
so
for 168, 15 doubles, 1 triple, a pair of home runs. Dave Stewart had it all right here in this story.
Man.
As we finish this program, by the way, and I want these guys to chime in as well. Again, we don't talk a lot of national, we don't talk a lot of college sports, but the great Pat Summitt, the legendary head coach at Tennessee, is really fighting for her life in a Tennessee hospital right now, or in Tennessee. I don't believe she's in the hospital. I think she's still in a what they were calling a retirement home. But college basketball, women's college basketball, as we know it, would not exist without Pat Summitt, who became head coach of the Lady Vols at the age of 22 in 1974. We know about the national championships. We know that here in the state of Connecticut, she is as reviled as she is respected, because obviously UConn and Gino Auriemma, a huge rival. But I personally have such a great regard for Pat Summitt. She fought dementia and Alzheimer's. It's brutal, and whatever is ahead, all I can say is we hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's the thought I had when I've heard about her. When I think about Pat Summitt, I think of someone that was just. What you hear from her players is that she's tough on them.
She's brutal.
She doesn't make it easy on them, and if they don't love her while they're there, they respect her while they're there, and then once they go on in life, then comes the affection toward what their coach gave them. So good luck to the Summitt family, and we hope all turns out for the best.
It doesn't matter who it was, whether it was Shamika Holsclaw or any of her former players. They were all tweeting yesterday and saying how quickly they were going to get to her bedside. This is just a remarkable human being that, again, I understand here in Connecticut. It's not easy to love Pat Summitt. I know that. I have a great regard for her. A tough coach in that John Wooden kind of vein of going to coach you and coach you well. May not, John Wooden had a much easier hand in the way he handled things. Pat Summitt more of a rocky top for a reason. But as good a coach as you see, and as an important a person as we have in a lot of ways in sports at any level, and that's why I wanted to spend a moment on her today. We've talked plenty about Muhammad Ali and many other greats, Gordie Howe and others who have passed. She's still with us, and I hope she's with us for a lot longer, but I do want people to know, go Google how amazing Pat Summitt is.
Well, particularly, taking over the program at Tennessee. What was she, like 24 years old at the time? I mean, that's 22. 22. So she's 22, coaching 21-year-olds, and earning their respect.
That's hard to do.
Almost 1,100 wins, 8 national championships. Took over as a 22-year-old, but 2 years later, 1976, is the co-captain on the silver medal U.S. Olympic team. In other words, 2 years later, she played.
Well, it says that her players probably knew better than to challenge her to one-on-one.
And then, of course, in '84, she coached the U.S. Olympic team to a gold medal. And the court at Thompson Bowling Arena, where the Lady Vols play, of course, is known as the Summitt, as it should be. So, Pat Summitt, I mean, among the best. And I just wanted to spend a moment on that today.
No, certainly we probably won't see that again, because no one's going to get a chance to take over a program at age 22 now. So that kind of longevity and achievement and winning, we're not likely to see that again.
Nope. We are back with you tomorrow. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you'll hop on again before the end of the week.
Yeah, hopefully you'll have me back.
Yeah, about time you got back on this side of the camera.
I know, it was
Feels
nice.
good, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thanks, Derek Gender, for keeping us on the air. That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. We are back with you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. You know the drill. Come on back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Coffee break tomorrow at 11. But for now, for all these guys, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your afternoon. Thanks for watching.